Assalamu alaikum. This is Kinza Khan. My roll number is EP1770069. I am from fourth year evening. The topic of my presentation is alloxin induced hyperglycemia. Alloxin is basically a diabetic agent. It is the most prominent chemical compound used in diabetogenic research. In research, it is used for induction of type 1 diabetes. It is a toxic glucose analog which selectively destroys insulin producing cells in the pancreas, that is, beta cells, when administered to rodents and many other animal species. This causes an insulin dependent diabetes mellitus called alloxin diabetes in these animals with characteristics similar to type 1 diabetes in humans. Chemical properties of alloxin are the chemical name is 2456 tetraoxypyrimidine 2456 pyrimidine tetrone, which is an oxygenated pyrimidine derivative which is present as alloxin hydrate in aqueous solution. The drug can be administered parenterally, that is intravenously, intraperitoneally, or subcutaneously. The dose of alloxin required for inducing diabetes depends on the animal species and route of administration. There are different phases of diabetes induction. That alloxin induces triphasic blood glucose response when injected into experimental animals. The first phase that comes within the first minute after alloxin administration is transient hypoglycemic phase that lasts maximally for 30 minutes. The mechanism behind the first phase of this hyperinsulinemia may be a temporary increase in ATP availability due to inhibition of glucose phosphorylation through glucokinase inhibition. The second phase appears after 1 hour of administration of alloxin and leads to rise in blood glucose concentration. This is the first hyperglycemic phase for 2 to 4 hours after the first contact of pancreatic beta cells with the toxin. The third phase is again a hypoglycemic phase that is for 4 to 8 hours after the alloxin injection, which lasts for several hours. Changes occur during this phase are irreversible. Now here we can see that alloxin is selectively toxic to insulin producing pancreatic beta cells because it preferentially accumulates in beta cells through uptake of the glucose transporters. In the presence of intercellular thiols, alloxin generates reactive oxygen species, that is ROS, in a cyclic reaction with its reduction product, dialluric acid. The beta cell toxin action of alloxin is initiated by free radicals formed in this redox reaction. The induction of hyperglycemia method is two rats are fasted overnight for at least 8 hours. Diabetes is induced by administration of alloxin. About 150 mg per kg is administered, that is prepared in normal saline by IP route. One rat is set control. 24 to 36 hours post alloxin administration, blood glucose of the rats are checked by puncturing the rat tail using glucometer. Rats with blood glucose level greater than 300 mg per deciliter are used for the study. Now we have to administer the anti-diabetic drug. The anti-diabetic drug can be metformin, rosiglitazone, pioglitazone at different concentrations. Then we have to compare the pre and post drug glucose levels. With respect to research article, the article I can show you here. The title is A New Model for Alloxin Induced Diabetes Mellitus in Rats. It was published in Journal of Bangladesh Society of Physiologists in February 2020. There are two authors, six authors are there, and two of them are here, Ojulari Lekin Sharif and other one is Elizabeth O. Dengana. Now, moving towards my presentation, again, uh, the abstract. The background is alloxin is widely used to induce experimental diabetes mellitus in animals with different grades of disease severity by varying the dose of alloxin used. This method is, however, be questioned by recent research work as an appropriate technique for the induction of diabetes. The main objective is to provide a simple yet concise and reproducible experimental procedures and model for alloxin-induced diabetes mellitus in rats. Introduction is animal models of diabetes mellitus play a very important role to help us avoid unnecessary and ethically challenging studies in human subjects, as well as to obtain a comprehensive scientific viewpoint of this disease. Also, due to various models of possible therapeutic interventions and associated complications that can arise, it is best to simulate diabetes mellitus in experimental animals. These provide alternative, safer models to which the therapeutic interventions can be administered. There are two different experiments in the method. The study was divided into two separate experiments. Basically, the experiment one is alloxin was administered into four subgroups each. Group 1, in group 1, 100 mg of alloxin per kg of rat body weight. Group 2, 120 mg per kg. Group 3, 150 mg per kg. And group 4, 170 mg per kg. In each subgroup, the dose of alloxin was administered different concentration, that is 20 mg per ml, 10 mg per ml, 5 mg per ml, and similarly 4 mg per ml in groups of 10 rats each. The pre-induction fasting period was also varied between groups. The experiment 2 is following a pre-induction fasting period of 36 hours. Animal received 150 mg alloxin per kg body weight and at a concentration of 20 mg alloxin per ml. The statistical analysis shows that the values are reported as mean, standard error of mean, and were analyzed by one-way ANOVA, followed by students' Newman-Kuhl's post-HOC test in experiment 1 and a student's t-test in experiment 2. The results I'm going to discuss that alloxin administered intraperitoneally at 150 mg per kg of rat body weight at 20 mg per ml and following a pre-induction fast period of 36 hours yielded basically the most favorably conditions with the least recorded mortality rate. Here we can see in the here we can see in the uh, figure A that the highest blood glucose level recorded was 7.5 plus minus 0.095 mmol per liter. This was recorded following administration at a concentration of 20 mg per liter after 48 hours. The remaining recorded blood glucose level fell between these ranges. In the second figure, we can see that values taken between 0 hours, 72 hours post induction fell between the range of 2.0 and 6.50 across all groups. Only one rat died in this case. Now, moving towards the third figure, in which the administration of 150 mg per kg at different concentrations, uh, 4 mg per ml, 5 mg per ml, 10 mg per ml, and 20 mg per ml. The recorded blood levels fell well beneath the considered value for diabetes mellitus, and only one rat died in this group during the experimental period. In the last figure, we can see that the alloxin at a dosage of 170 mg per kg at 0 hours, 4 hours, and 72 hours post induction. During the experimental period, two rats died following administration at a concentration of 10 mg per ml and 3 at 20 mg per ml. Um, Blood glucose levels in alloxin induced rats with 36 hours. In the first figure, we can see the highest blood glucose level was recorded 48 hours post induction at a concentration of 20 mg per ml. There was no recorded animal death throughout the experimental period. In the figure 2, we can see that alloxin dosage was 120 mg per kg. Blood glucose level considered were recorded following intraperitoneal injections of alloxin 72 hours post induction at 4 mg per ml, and 5 deaths were recorded with 2 in the 20 mg per ml concentration and 1 in each in the remaining groups. In the third figure, we can see that blood glucose levels recorded at 48 hours and 72 hours post induction. All groups were diabetic with the highest value, and the concentration recorded of 20 mg per ml, the least diabetic value was 13.2, recorded 48 hours post induction at a concentration of 5 mg per ml. Only two of the experimental rats died following administration at 10 mg per ml. In the last figure, we can see that at 48 hours post induction, all experimental rats were diabetic with blood glucose levels ranging between 11.9 and 42.0. Recorded E death in this group was 16, with 7 in the 20 mg, 4 in the 10 mg per ml and 3 in the 5 mg per ml and 2 in the 4 mg per ml concentration group. Here we can see the number of deaths ratio in 12 hours and 36 hours, number of deaths in experimental rats following intraperitoneal administration after 12 hours and 36 hours at different concentrations. At last, we can see the results of experiment 2. The results are the blood glucose levels were recorded in rats after intraperitoneal administration of alloxin at a dosage of 150 mg kg and at a concentration of 20 mg per ml. Pre-induction fast was 36 hours. The highest blood glucose level 27.6 on day 3 post-induction followed by day 21. The least value 5.3 was reported on day 2. The discussion of this article is this study was carried out to obtain a standard and reproducible model for alloxin-induced diabetes mellitus in rats. Alloxin has two distinct pathological effects. It selectively inhibits insulin secretion induced by glucose and causes a state of insulin dependence through its ability to generate reactive oxygen species, resulting in the selective necrosis of beta cells. The conclusion is from the results of this study, it can be concluded that alloxin is a diabetogenic drug with a strict protocol of use in inducing a predictable diabetes mellitus in rats, and as such, this model is a standard and reproducible technique for the induction of diabetes mellitus in experimental rats. I have already discussed the reference. The name of the article is A New Model for Alloxin-Induced Diabetes Mellitus. It is taken from the Journal of Bangladesh Society of Physiologists, February 2020. That's all from my side. Thank you so much.